Hello dear students, today we will learn the remaining part of our chapter number first, which deals with the biostatistics, then statistical terms, and last topic is scope, applications and uses of biostatistics. Out of that, in previous lecture we learned regarding the biostatistics, its definition. We'll revise it briefly, that what is actually mean by biostatistics. Biostatistics is nothing but it is the applications of statistical methods to the biological problems. Okay, so it is the simple definition of biostatistics. Biostatistics comprises two words, bio and statistics. So application of statistical methods to the biological problem is called as biostatistics. Then after that we learn some statistical terms. In that we learned about population. Population is a group of individual that we all know, group of individual of a same species residing in a same particular geographical area, or it can be also defined as a group of individuals of which scientific inference can be made. So that is the definition of population. For example, we have taken the example of population of Maharashtra or Nasik district, like that. So after that we learned about the sample. So what is sample? Sample is nothing but it is the subset of the population or a particular part of the population. So while doing a research, because statistics or biostatistics is indispensable while doing research, you cannot complete your research without applying the statistical or without applying the statistics. So so while doing the research, it is practically not possible, or it is not feasible to study entire population because the number is very high. So for the sake of our convenience, what we do, we select some individuals from that particular population. So selecting the individuals from that population, or taking the selected part of the population, or that selected part is nothing but the sample. Okay, if you want to diagnose, if you fell ill in this time, it is a corona. So if you feel ill, you are coughing, you are sneezing, you are having fever. So if you are suspected to be a corona, you are having corona, then what you do, you test, and which test is called as, that test is called as swab test. So the saliva, a small part of your saliva is taken, okay, which is tested, and on the basis of that you are told that your whole body, or you are infected with corona or not. Okay, or even in the case of typhoid also, blood test is taken. So if they take only a few drop of blood, and on the basis of that they can conclude that you are having typhoid or not. So that is the significance of sample. Then we discuss different types of data. Okay, so different type of data included primary data, secondary data. That is primary data means what, the data which is collected by a particular person directly. For example, questionnaire is there, okay, interview is there. And secondary means the data is collected by some other person, but you can use it, for example internet, okay, magazines, like that. Then after we learned about qualitative and quantitative data. Qualitative is a categorical measurement which cannot be expressed in the form of number. So the example is sex, religion, okay, so that can be expressed only in terms of not in terms of number, sorry. And second one is what, quantitative. Now its name suggests it is a quantity. Okay, it is a quantity. So quantitative data means what? Quantitative data, that is a scale measurement which can be quantified, which can be measured in the form of numbers. So that is these are the statistical terms that we learned in our earlier lecture. Today we will study the remaining statistical parameters, statistical terms. So these are the two statistical terms. That is, first one is parameter and second one is statistic. Okay, so you should remember that what to whom or to which thing we call it parameter and to which thing we call it statistics. See, only remember, when we are talking about the whole population, when we are talking about whole population, just remember this, when we are talking about whole population, then that characteristic become parameter, So it is the numerical characteristic of whole population. So any parameter you are talking about, any characteristic you are talking about, if it is of whole population, entire population, then it is called as parameter. And second one is what? Second one is your statistics. So what is statistic? If you observe, what is statistics? Here in this case, if we talk about the characteristic of whole population, then it becomes parameter. And if we talk about the characteristic of sample, just remember here, if we talk about the sample, then it is called as statistic. So numerical characteristic of whole population is called as parameter. And numerical characteristic of a sample only, which is we call it as a selected part of the population, that is called as statistic. Understood? Okay. So second thing or next thing is very much important, variable. You will hear this word many or often in this paper, that is variable. So what is variable? Variable can be defined as, wait, I will take a highlighter. It is the measurable property or attribute which is associated with each subject of population or sample. See, what is variable? Vary means what? To change. Change means it can be measured from in a particular dimension. Okay, so it is a measurable quantity. Okay, it is a we can measure that change. So measurable property or attribute which is associated with each of subject of the population or a sample. Or in simple way, we can define the variable by this way. Variable is any property of an individual that can be expressed in numerical terms. So here we can express the variable in the form of numerical terms. Okay, numerical terms means in the form of number. For example, your height. Can we explain height? We measure height as a 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet. Okay, so in this fashion we can explain the height in terms of numbers, or therefore height becomes a variable. For example, number of leaves, we can express that in the form of number 1, 2, 3, 4, or weight also we can express in the form of number. So the quantity which can be expressed in the form of number is called as variable. Now we'll move forward. Now we'll see the types of variable. There are different types of variable. There are two types of variable given in our syllabus. That is, first type of variable is what? First type of variable is, it is called as discrete variable. It is called as discrete variable. And second type of variable is called as continuous variable. Okay, continuous variable. There are two types of variables. First one is what? Discrete variable. Second is what? Continuous variable. See, now if we see here, to which we can call it as a continuous variable, and to which we can call it as a discrete variable. See, now discrete variable is a variable that can take but that can take a specific value, only. That should be remembered, only. Okay, that can take specific values only. Discrete variable is a kind of a variable which can take only the specific values. Okay. For example, if you take the example, it will be more clear to you. So what are the examples of discrete variable? Discrete variables, for example, number of trees in the garden. Okay, you can count the number of trees in the garden as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. But after 1 you have to count it as a 2, not 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 like that. So you cannot count it in that fashion. You can only count in a particular or a specific way, or you can give a particular value or a particular number to that, and it is a full value. For example, 1, after that 2, after that 3, 1.1, 1.2, it is not possible there. So in this case, number of trees in the garden, number of students in the class, etc. So that can be considered as a discrete variable. So discrete variable is a variable which can take a specific, do remember this thing, specific, which can take a specific values only. Okay, you cannot randomly give any number. Okay, it can only take the specific values. Second is what? Second is the continuous variable. Now the continuous variable is a variable which can take any value within a defined range of values. Okay, any value within a defined range of values. So you can here observe that the difference between the two definitions, how we can observe the definition, difference between two definitions. Here it can take only a specific value, here it can take any value, Here we have seen the difference between two. Here there is a specific value, and here you can say any value. Okay, for example, I have told you the example that number of trees in the garden, 1 tree, 2 tree, 3 trees. Okay, you can take only a specific value. But in case of height or weight of individual, height can be 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, weight can be 500 grams, 550 grams, like that. 1.2 kg, 1.3 kg, means in a particular range it can take any values. So such variable is called as continuous variable. Such variable is called as continuous variable. Okay. Now after that we'll study what is statistical error. Okay, what is the statistical error? So error, basically we know that we commit some sort of a mistake, that is we called it as a error. But in terms of statistics, how the error occurs? See, if you are doing any survey, any biological experiment in your lab, you are taking readings. Suppose you are taking the reading, but by mistake you took a reading, and while writing you written a wrong thing or wrong reading. There appear different and you write different, so you committed the mistake. Or when you are doing survey, if you are doing survey, while collecting the information you collected the wrong information. Okay, so that wrong information is passed on and it was processed. Okay, so actual information is different, actual value is different, but you counted it wrong or you collected it wrong. So that error which you commit is called as a statistical error. That is having again the two different types, type 1 error, type 2 error, but we will not go in detail. Just simply remember at your level that the difference between the observed value and true value. Okay, observed minus true, the difference between two is called as statistical error. The difference between the observed value and true value means actual value, and observed value means you observed. While doing the experiment you may commit the problem, what you commit the error while taking the reading, or even during performing the experiment you did something wrong. So that wrong will also result in different or the wrong reading, but you will see that it is right because I did all things right, but knowingly or unknowingly you did the wrong thing. So you will get the different observed value from what is exactly the true value. So that difference is called as statistical error. Now the second thing, next thing is frequency. It is also commonly heard word in the statistics. You will going to hear that word so often. Okay, so what is that? We'll see. Frequency. Frequent, you know the word frequent. Frequent means the thing which happens again and again and again and again. Okay, that is called as a frequent. So that word is nothing but that word is derived from that word frequent. Frequency means what? Frequency can be defined as the number of times a character or the attribute that has appeared in the data collected. Number of times a particular character, you are collecting the data and you are getting same data again and again. If you are collecting the information in the form of number, for example, say number of fruits per plant. Okay, so if you have selected 10 plants and you counted the number of fruits, suppose first number plant is having 10 fruits, second is having 12 fruits, third is having 10, fourth is having 10, 5 is having 13. So out of this 5, instead of 10 we will take 5. So 10 appears thrice. So the frequency of that appearing that 10 fruit is thrice, means the character which has appeared again and again in the given data, that is called as the frequency of that character. Okay, so that is the frequency. Now, frequency is expressed in the form of, or frequency is expressed or shown in a particular type of table that called as frequency table. So if we see the definition of frequency table, it can be defined as frequency table can be defined as the arrangement of frequencies of a variable and their presentation in a defined group. Means we have to arrange a particular frequencies and we have to present it in a defined or definite group is called as frequency table. Okay, so that is about frequency table. And then frequency distribution. See, frequency distribution. What is frequency distribution? The frequency distribution is nothing but the arrangement and presentation of such condensed data into the classes is called as frequency distribution. Means, see, so why the frequency is distributed, it is very much important question, because you collect a huge amount of data, number of data you have collected, or you have collected very huge amount of data, and if you want to show it, you want to analyze it, you want to analyze it, so you should arrange it properly. Okay, so that proper arrangement will take heaps of your hard work or your pages of paper, because you have to write each data separately. But instead of that, what you can do, you can draw a frequency table. In that you can distribute the frequency in a very condensed or concise manner. How? Let us take an example. See, for example, here an investigator studied 8 pods of a pea. How many pods? 8 pods. Okay, and recorded number of grains in these 8 pods as follows. So in first pod number of grains were 2. In second pod the number of grains were 2. In third 2. Fourth 3. Fifth 3. Sixth 4. Seventh 4 and eighth 4. So here are 8 pods. Okay. So how you can represent that data? You will simply represent by this way. Okay. You will make a table in this fashion. You will make a table. What you will going to write here? In here it will be your number of grains, number of grain, and here their frequency. Okay, so if we observe number of grain per pod, you can write this number of grain per pod. Okay, so number of grain per pod, you will observe here 2 2 2. So number of grain per pod 2. How many times that 2 has appeared? It has appeared 3 times. So number of pod per grain, if it is 2, then its frequency is 3. Then number of grains per pod 3. How many times it has appeared? It has appeared 2 times. The frequency is 2. Number of grains per pod 4. How many times it has appeared? 2 times. The frequency of 4 is 2. Then number of grains per pod 5. Okay, So frequency 5 has happened only once. So the frequency of 5 is 1. So in this fashion frequency table can be drawn. Now we will study the last part of the chapter, that is scope, applications and uses of biostatistics. So its major and prime role is in research. No research is complete without the statistics. If you want to do research, you have to do the experimental design. You have to set up the experiment for which you require the statistics. For the data collection in research, you require the statistics. To analyze that data, if whatever you have collected, to arrange the data in a particular fashion, you need the tables, you need a graph, you need histogram, you need frequency polygons. So that is a part of statistics. Then to analyze the data, you require different type of statistical methods like standard deviation, like standard error of mean. So different statistical methods are indispensable or obligatory to analyze something and to conclude something. So in research, no research can be complete without the use of statistics. Then in medicinal and pharmaceutical science, if it finds its application to test the efficacy of a particular drug or to test the side effect of the particular drug. So in that fashion, pharmaceutical science or pharmaceutics or in medicines also the statistics is very much important. In genetics also, to study the progeny, to study the genetic patterns, we need the statistics. For monitoring the community and public health. So in case of public health, for example, now corona is there in this period. So there are different statistical models which are applied to propose the number of corona positive patients in nearby future. So by the 50 days, how this many amount of this much number of corona patient will be there. So by 100th of day, by 150th of day, like that, or when this corona pandemic will end. So that probabilities will also be mathematical or statistical model is applied. So that is very much important. Then to demography means study of human population. So to census, in census also it finds its application. So demography means human population, the census, it utilizes different statistical method to analyze the different parameters of human population. Then weather forecasting also means to predict the weather, different statistical methods where or these are used. So that is about the scope, applications and uses of biostatistics. So here it will end our first chapter, that is introduction to biostatistics. So what we learned in introduction to biostatistics, we learned the different concept. First one is what is biostatistics. So basically biostatistics is nothing but the applications of statistical method to the biological problems. So that in that fashion the biostatistics can be defined. Then we learned about different sorts of statistical terms. Then in that we learn about what is population, like a group of individual. Then we learned about the sample means it is a selected part of the population. Then we discussed about different types of data, like primary data, like secondary data, like your qualitative data, like quantitative data. In today's lecture we discussed about what is parameter. If it is of population, then it is called as parameter. If it is of your sample, then it is called as statistics. Then we discussed about different frequency is there, your variable is there, type of variable, discrete variable as well as continuous variable, frequency, then frequency distribution, frequency table. Then at last we learnt about the applications of or scope or uses of statistics. Hope you have enjoyed this lecture. and we'll next lecture will start the next one. Thank you.